In this tutorial, I'll show you how to make the Blender file that is used to make the paintballing game. Change Blender Render to Blend for Web and click Set Recommended Options. Press X to delete the cube. Add Mesh Plane. File, Append. Go to the folder where you have a model of a target. There are 3 models that I'm going to use in this tutorial. You can download the models from my website, or you can make similar models yourself. Click on the file to go into it, into the object folder. Select the target object and append. Select the target. In the object properties, set its X rotation to 90. Set the Y location to 0.5 and the Z location to 1. Select the lamp and in the object data properties, change it to a hemi. File, Append. Go to the folder where you have your block model. Click on the Blender file to go into it, into the object folder, select the cube object and append. Select the block and set its Z location to 1. To animate the block, right-click on its location and insert keyframes. Set the total length of the animation to 50 frames. Go to frame 50, right-click on the location and insert keyframes. Go to frame 25, set the X location to 2, right-click, insert keyframes. Clicking play, the block moves to and fro in front of the target. In the animation panel, click Apply Default Animation. In the physics properties, click Object Physics. We want physics type static. Select the plane and click Object Physics. Select the target, click Object Physics, change the physics type to rigid body. Click Collision Bounds and change the collision shape to cylinder. Next, I'm going to duplicate to make a set of targets. I don't need to make a full duplicate. There is no point in duplicating the underlying mesh, so I'm going to hold down the Alt key, press D and Enter to make a linked duplicate. Set the X location of the duplicate to 4. Select the plane, duplicate linked, hold down Alt, press D and Enter and set its X location to 4. When we duplicate the block, it has keyframes that are linked to the underlying mesh. So I'm not going to make a linked duplicate, I'm going to make a full duplicate. So I'm holding down the Shift key, pressing D and Enter, and setting the X location of the duplicate to 4. We keyframed the location of the block with the X location starting at 0, then 2, then back to 0. That's not going to work with the starting location of the duplicate. I found the simplest solution was to right-click and clear the keyframes from the duplicate, and clicking Constraints, add a Copy Location constraint. For the target, select the original block, click Offset and uncheck Y and Z. We only want to copy the X location. Clicking Play, we get the movement that we want. We just have to remember not to duplicate the original block. Now we can duplicate linked any of the other blocks. In my game design, there are 7 targets. They are equally spaced at positions 0, 4, 8, 12, -4, -8 and -12. They are all linked duplicates. I'm going to jump ahead and duplicate them all. Now I just have to duplicate the last target, Alt D and enter, and put a minus sign in front of the 4. I also used Coke cans as targets. File, Append, go to the folder where you have the Coke can model, click on the Blender file to go into it, into the Object folder, select the cylinder object and append. Select the Coke can and I'm going to rename it Coke. Before I place the Coke can, I'm going to set up its physics. Click Object Physics, change the type to Rigid Body, Collision Bounds, Collision Shape, Cylinder. To place the Coke can, I'm going to look at my original file. I'm going to look at the locations of all the objects so you can make an exact copy if you want to. The first Coke can, its Y location is 0.5 and its Z location is 5.8. Y location 0.5 and Z 5.8. The can is a rigid body and will fall unless there is a static plane underneath it. Select the plane, Alt D and enter. Set the Y location of the duplicate to 0.5 and the Z location to 4. For the location of the blocks, I've put them to the side of the cans so that at the start the targets are blocked but the cans are unblocked. So the X value is -2, the Y value is -1 because of the thickness of the can, the Z value is 4.7, the Z value of the upper block is always 2 Blender units more than the Z value of the lower block. We must not duplicate the original block, we can duplicate any of the others, Alt D and enter. Set the location of the duplicate to -2, -1 and 4.7. Duplicate, Alt D and enter, and set the Z location of the duplicate to 6.7, and in the view menu change the view to the front view. All the planes in this row are 4 Blender units up. This plane has an X location of +11 and this plane -11. The Coke cans have a Z value of 5.8, otherwise the values are the same as the planes. I had to experiment with the locations of the blocks because the double block is bigger than the Coke can and because of perspective. The locations of the top blocks will be the same as the locations of the bottom blocks except for 2 added to the Z location. The Z location of the bottom planes is -5.5 and the Z location of the bottom cans is -3.7. All the other values are the same as the top row. For the Z locations of the blocks, -2.5, the bottom block is 2 Blender units more negative, -4.5. My X values are -12.7, -2 and 8.5. With the Coke cans duplicated and placed, next, as with all the paintball tutorials, I have to append in the decal, the paint splat graphic, append, go to the Blend for Web folder, to the Blender folder, Code Snippets folder, Ray Test. Click on the Ray Test file to go into it, into the Object folder. Click on the Decal object and Append. The decal is hidden amongst the other objects, so I'm going to select it in the outliner window, and I'm going to hide it by putting it behind the camera by making the camera its parent. While it's still selected, I'm going to make it bigger by pressing S to scale 4 and enter. For a sound effect, when the paintball hits, add speaker. I'm going to call the speaker bell. In the speaker properties, change the behavior to background sound. Click Open, go to the folder where you have your sound effect file, select it and open. We now have image files and a sound file linked to the Blender file. I think it's easier when you deploy the project for external data to be automatically packed into the Blender file. The files will then automatically be copied into the Assets folder. I'm going to quickly set up a background color. Click the World button, click Render Sky, click the Horizon color, and set the red to 0.2, the green to 0.3, and the blue to 0.4. To position the camera, in the View menu, Align View, Align Active Camera to View. Select the camera and set its Y location to -40 and zoom in. You can check what the scene looks like with Fast Preview. I've done that, and you can see the bottom planes, and I don't want them to show, so I'm clicking Do Not Render. The Blender file is now finished. In the next tutorial, I'll show you how to create a project that will combine the 3D scene from the Blender file with JavaScript code that will control the game. I'll put all the files used in the tutorial for you to download at my website. To visit my website, click the eye icon in the top right hand corner. If you'd like to subscribe, click the stick man. If you'd like to sponsor my tutorials, click the Patreon link. Thanks for watching and goodbye.